All right, into a chair pose. We're gonna get your hips warm. So toes touch, same stance. Bring your butt back, bring your legs toward one another, so squeeze your upper thighs together. Keep the knees back behind the toes, and bring your arms up. And really press your arms up. If you're arching your back, if you feel like you're really arching your back and you've got some pain in your spine, try to bring the ribs in a little bit more. You wanna make kind of a lightning shape with your body here. And again, squeeze the legs in, squeeze your glutes. Just about 5 more seconds here. Our goal with this is to get your hips active so we can stretch them. And then from here, go ahead and stand back up. And I'm gonna have you grab a block now. Put that about 6 inches in front of your feet, right in the middle. Spread your feet about 6 inches apart, or 2 fist widths. And then soften your knees. So bend your knees a lot. Lift your chest forward, and then slowly bring your hands to the block. And so we're going into a modified forward fold here. So typically in yoga, what you're going to see is a forward fold like this all the way down. But what I want you to do here is use the block to work on lengthening your chest. So we want to work on expanding the area from your waist to your sternum, and then stretching your hamstrings and pressing your thighs back. And you don't have to lock out your legs. So if you look at Gary, Gary isn't locking out his legs here. He's got a nice bend to his knees, but you can see that his legs are still under tension. So that's what we want. We don't want you to lock out your legs. And Gary, just for the sake of the demonstration, can you lock out your legs for a minute? And his back is going to round a little bit more. So Gary, if you were less flexible, you would kind of round your back a little bit more, right? He would kind of go into this a little bit. So when he's bending his legs, instead, now he's able to keep that flatness of his spine. He's still got a great stretch through his hamstrings. And then if you're feeling like you want to go a little bit deeper here, you can turn the block down to a different setting, or you can bend the legs and bring your fingertips all the way down if you don't have a block. And then just go ahead and pedal your knees back and forth. So we're going to bend into one side, bend into the other. Yep. And so this is a great mobility exercise just to work into your hamstrings, especially before a workout. If you're doing an intense workout, if you're doing something where it's fast twitch, right? If you're doing sprints or agility work, probably don't want to do a static stretch like this beforehand. But if you're doing slower movement, if you're doing maybe you're doing a yoga workout or you're just going for a walk, this would be great. All right, that's good. Let's go ahead and drop the hips down. Good, and then lift all the way back up. Inhale, reach up, and release your hands. Nice. All right, we're gonna go into a low lunge. So you don't need the block for this. You'll notice that Gary and I have a little piece of clothing at the top of our mat. If you drop your knee back, so let's say we go into a lunge, all right, so we're gonna have the right foot forward. If the knee comes down and this feels painful, maybe you're on a rock like I am, or maybe your knees are just sensitive, just throw whatever you have, right? If it's a washcloth, a towel, under the knee, and that'll help protect the knee. All right, and then we're just gonna push down through your right hip. So this is still active. I want you to really get the right glute working. And so what you wanna do here is, if you take a look at my core here, this is where I kind of default, right? My right hip comes up a little bit. So what I wanna do is work on pressing my right hip down and lifting my left hip just slightly, right? So look again, it's just this subtle change from here, pushing down, and that's gonna put the weight in my right hip instead of keeping it in the left leg. And then I should be able to kind of lift the left knee off the ground here, right? And I should keep that same positioning with my hips as I set the knee back down. And then we're gonna bring the arms back up, kind of relax the shoulders, and even try goalpost arms here. So this is a great way to open up your chest. So the elbows level with the shoulders, squeezing the elbows back, and even a little bit of external rotation to the arms. So I'm kind of getting my forearms to face somewhat up. And that's a little bit of a weird move. If you haven't done that before, it's gonna feel maybe a little odd, but it's great for the shoulders, especially because most of our time we spend with our shoulders rounded down like this. So you'll feel stretching through the chest, and you'll feel some stretching through the back and the shoulders. All right, from here we're gonna go to a half split. So I'm gonna hand over both my blocks to Gary. Gary's gonna put the blocks kind of on either side, yep, just like that. And then you're gonna shift your hips back and start to straighten the front leg. Hips are gonna be right above the back knee. Knee is, and the right leg is going to be bent. So notice that he's not locking out the knee here. He's keeping a bend there. And he's gonna work on pulling his chest forward and up. So he's getting that good height, right? He doesn't want to be collapsed through the chest. Yep, so he's doing a good job there of pulling the chest forward and up, and then lightly pressing the back of the right thigh toward the ground. Make sure to reach your toes toward your shin too. You don't want to neglect that calf stretch. And if you sit a lot, those calves are going to be tight for sure. All right, keep pulling your chest forward and up. Keep breathing into this. So it's important that as we're moving through the postures today, to use your breath to help you. So a lot of people do yoga a long time and they don't actually get more flexible. And the reason is because they're not using their breath. So as you inhale, you're getting taller, you're getting longer. And as you exhale, you're going a little bit deeper into it, deepening the stretch. All right, that should be long enough. We're gonna come back up to a lunge and just step all the way back up and then switch sides. So now right leg is coming back. Slower release that right knee to the ground. And again, push down through the left hip. So we want to get that left hip active. Lift the right hip, push the left hip down. Pull your ribs up, get nice and tall. Bring the arms up. And get back into goalpost arms just to help open up the chest. And so incorporating that breath that we talked about before, as you inhale, I want you to lift up just a tiny bit. Just lift your ribs up a little bit. And then as you exhale, kind of come forward a little bit. So letting your hips sink forward, but still keeping the core tight. You shouldn't feel any pain in your back here. So if you feel like your hips are going in front of your body, or your hips are staying behind your body and your stomach is pressing forward like this, that's not what we really want to do here. We want to keep the ribs drawn in and the abs tight, so we're actually getting a stretch through the hip. If we allow the spine to become arched and push forward, we're not going to get as good of a stretch here. So keep the spine neutral, keep good technique, and then increase the depth from there. All right, and then from here we're going to go to that half split. So hands down or onto the blocks, shift yourself back, maybe bring the right knee back a few more inches, and then reach your toes toward your shin, left toes reaching toward the shin, left hip pressing toward the ground. So you want to make sure that the hips are level here. Again, you don't want your left hip way up here and your right hip down. So it's going to be it'll be somewhat unnatural at first, but you have to press that left hip down, and that's going to help you get a better stretch through the back of the left leg, which is our focus here, right? We're opening up the calf, right? So the back, lower leg, and then also the hamstring, so the entire back of the thigh. At the same time, I want you to pull your chest forward and up. Use your core strength to maintain good posture, and then keep that uprightness throughout the posture. You might have a tendency to get tired or just maybe get a little lazy and kind of forget about it, but make sure you're keeping your chest lifted up. We're gonna do one more breath here. See if you can reach the toes back a little bit more. Remember, always trying to get deeper into the posture. All right, and then go ahead and step back up all the way, back up to standing. We're gonna do one more lunge and a little variation with that. So again, feet to the top of the mat, 6 inches apart. Take a big step back with your left foot. Actually, Gary, can I have one of those blocks back? Thank you. So what we're gonna do now is put the block inside your right foot. We're gonna use both hands here to help pull your chest forward and up. So this is similar to a low lunge, except you might be able to crawl the back foot back a little bit more and pull your chest up a little bit higher. Keep squeezing the legs toward one another. So you want to squeeze the right leg back, the left foot forward, and we're going to feel an opening through the front of the left hip here. Now from here, I want you to move your right hand away from the block. So just use your left hand. Keep the hips squared, and then lift your right arm up and open up your chest toward the side. But keep your hips the same. So don't allow your hips to go way out to the right like this. We're going to keep the hips centered, and you're just lifting your right arm up and opening up your spine here. So this is a really nice twist. And if you sit or you stand a lot, you're probably not doing a lot of twisting unless you're pretty active. So make sure you're really rolling back the shoulder. Got one more breath here. See if you can pull the chest forward, roll back the shoulder, keep the right hip active, and then release the hand down, and then go ahead and step back up all the way. And we're gonna switch sides. So now the right leg's coming back. Keep that block inside the left foot. Use both hands on top of the block at first. And the reason for the block is because if we don't have the block, what's gonna happen is we're kind of Gonna fold a little bit here and our back will round. And I want you to get your back into a neutral position. So the block allows us to lift the chest up, and now you can see, so if you look at Gary, you can see that his back is mostly flat as opposed to rounded. Keep the back thigh engaged. You want to squeeze the back thigh and lift the knee. And then again, we're going to bring the right hand to the block, bring the left hand away. Now keep your hips exactly the same. Aim straight forward, squared, and then lift your left arm up and open up your chest to the side. So again, rolling back the left shoulder, opening up your spine. Now try to pull your chest away from your hips, so make your body longer, and then roll back even a little bit more. So you'll find that the more length you get, so the more your head pushes forward away from your hips, the longer your spine gets, the deeper you'll be able to twist. And give this one more breath. Keep pushing down through that left hip. And then go ahead and release your hand down and step all the way back up. All right. Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Make sure you subscribe. We put out lots of videos like this on a very regular basis. And to get full access to all of my workouts, my programs, tutorials, and more, head to manfulyoga.com, sign up for a 7-day trial. It's just $1. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.